Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We're working on the Comedy of Errors and we get to hear from Adriana again today in Act 2, Scene 1. This is Act 2, but he didn't delineate scenes, but we're just saying that it's Act 2, Scene 1 because that's what a lot of people do because, French scenes, but whatever. Moving on, things that have happened. Ephesians and Syracusans don't like each other. Antipholus of Syracuse is currently in Ephesius looking for his brother, who he doesn't necessarily know is in Ephesius, but he's there kind of sort of looking for him, and his servant Dromio of Syracuse came with him. Now there's also an Antipholus of Ephesius, he does actually live there, and he has a servant named Dromio, and the Antipholuses are identical twin brothers, and the Dromios are identical twin brothers. So we had Antipholus of Syracuse send Dromio of Syracuse back to the hotel with 1,000 marks that's going to be his bail if he gets caught as a Syracusian in Ephesius. Dromio of Syracuse went to take care of that. Meanwhile, Dromio of Ephesius came in looking for Antipholus of Ephesius, but found Antipholus of Syracuse and was like, "You're late for dinner and your wife is waiting for you." And Antipholus of Syracuse was like, "I don't have a wife, and who are you and where's my money that I gave you to hide?" Since this Dromio doesn't know what he's talking about, that Ephesius beat him and sent him home. So now in Act 2, Scene 1, we had Adriana, who is the wife of Antipholus of Ephesius, waiting on her husband to come home for dinner and getting all paranoid that he hasn't come home for dinner yet, thinking that this must portend something bad. She's talking to her sister Luciana, who is not married, and it doesn't sound like she's the sort that would necessarily take well to marriage, or at least in Shakespeare's time she was not the sort that would take well to marriage, which I might just take personal offense to because I like her. Anyway, Adriana and Luciana are talking, and then Dromio of Ephesius comes in, and Adriana's like, "Why didn't you bring back my husband?" And he's like, "Your husband has gone crazy. He was asking me for money that he says he gave me, that he never did, and he said he didn't have a wife." And she's like, "Well, you have to go back out there and actually get him." She threatens to beat him, and just to avoid another beating, he leaves to get Antipholus. Meanwhile, Adriana starts complaining, and her speech from yesterday was her complaining in Luciana's general direction that this probably means that her husband, Antipholus of Ephesius, his eye has started to wander, and she's like, "Am I not pretty anymore? Am I not witty anymore?" Stuff like that, and Luciana's like, don't even go there. And Adriana says, "Unfeeling fools can with such wrongs dispense. I know his eye doth homage otherwhere, or else what lets it but he would be here? Sister, you know he promised me a chain. Would that alone a love he would detain, so he would keep fair quarter with his bed. I see the jewel best enameled will lose his beauty, yet the gold bides still, that others touch, and often touching will, where gold, and no man that hath a name, by falsehood and corruption doth it shame. Since that my beauty cannot please his eye, I'll weep what's left away, and weeping die." So she's being a bit of a drama queen here, is what's going on. She calls Luciana unfeeling because she can't necessarily sympathize or empathize with what Adriana is going through right now. And she's like, I know that he's looking elsewhere. I know that his eye is starting to wander, because otherwise why wouldn't he be here? And he promised me this necklace. And if only he would just forget about the necklace, he could just come home and be with me, and that would be so much better. And I know that shiny, bright things have a tendency to catch people's eyes, but it's the gold that's, it stays gold and it stays strong and it stays beautiful and untarnished and all that sort of thing, drawing the parallel between his eye wandering looking at shiny other women, and she's the beautiful, brilliant gold left at home. But she's like, since I'm not beautiful enough for him, I'm just going to cry until I'm completely ugly and then I die. And Luciana is like, how many stupid people fall for this sort of jealousy thing? And that's the end of Act 2, Scene 1. Both ladies exit the stage, and we're going to get a whole different group of people on stage for Act 2, Scene 2, which we will dig in tomorrow. So we'll stop with the ladies, with Adriana having a pity party and Luciana not really wanting to have much to do with it, which is kind of fun, and how a lot of female-female relationships work. But anyway, I will see you tomorrow for more. Mwah.